My name is Lauren.
I think you should tell us.
Okay, well, I am originally from Alabama, born and raised. I recently moved to Little Rock in November 2013. I got a job here at THB 11. I've been in church all my life, but I never professed Christ. But you know, this is kind of like what I always done. Like, you go to church. Like, my family brought me up in church. Been like Easter plays, Christmas plays, all that stuff. So when I moved here, I know my parents told me to find somewhere where the word is going forth, where you can put yourself under the word of God. So I actually Googled black churches in Little Rock. And St. Mark popped up. And so I came here, and I was a little nervous because my church back home is very, very small. So I was a little intimidated by its size, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to a big church. But I kept coming back, and then I still didn't have any friends here. I just moved here. So that's when it was suggested to me that I come to Sunday school or find a ministry, and I found my way to the young adult class, and that's when I met Whitney, along with some other great people. One day this year, I think it was the first Sunday, I want to say it was February, it was during communion, and they were passing the communion trays around, and I didn't take it. And Whitney, I just saw her looking at me like, but she didn't say it.
It wasn't like that. I was just really curious. I was just really curious. Like, she was passing the tray along, and then I got the tray, and I'm like, she didn't take a cup, but okay, I'll take my cup. And then I passed it along. No shade, no shade.
I passed the tray along, she took it, and then after, because we went to the 8 o'clock service, so we were heading to Sunday school, and that's when she asked me, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. And that's when she asked me why didn't I take communion. And I told her because I wasn't saved. And then that's when she just looked at me like, what? Like, it was like it almost didn't click or something. Or she was like really shocked, because she said she would have never thought that.
I guess, so going back to our relationship, like, we've known each other through the context of church. And so, like, every time I hang out with Lauren, every time I see Lauren, I see her through as like a Christian, because that's where we met, and like that's what we have in common, and that's what brought us together, being here in Sunday school class. And so when she said, oh, I didn't confess Christ, I was just interested in saying of like why she felt that way, because to me, but I'm not God, and I'm not Lauren, but from outside looking in, I would have never guessed. Like she said, she was born in church. I think your father's a deacon?
He is the deacon.
Yeah, and so I don't know, it was just very interesting. I would never guess. That's it.
Weeks passed by. I don't know, I guess I thought about it, but maybe not really. Like, I just kept going on. And then one night, we kind of had like a girls' night, so I went over to Winnie's apartment, and we were just eating and stuff and talking. And that's when she said something was weighing heavy on her heart, and she really wanted to talk to me about it. And then that's when she brought up my salvation, and she just told me that it was really concerning her, because I was her friend and she loved me, and she like it's very important for you to have that relationship with God and with Jesus. So she just started, I guess, telling me how she was praying for me, and she asked me why I felt the way I did, and she said, you can never get yourself ready like God does that for you.
Yeah. And I use this analogy, I guess, of like cleaning a house. And I was telling her, you're trying to get your house ready for God. You're trying to clean the floors, make sure it's spotless, and then you want God to come over. Like when she came over, I want my house to be clean before Lauren comes over, and then we're going to have dinner together. But it's not like that with your relationship. You let God into your dirty house, and then he will cook you dinner, and he will clean it up for you. And that's the best way I could put it. You can never be ready. Like, there's no time like, I feel like I'm going to be safe today. It's God is the one who does that for you. And so I was really trying to express that to her in that moment.
I went home and I don't think I told anybody. Sometimes I talk to my parents about things, sometimes I don't, but I just kind of like, I think I kept it to myself. I know I started praying about it, and I don't know, I felt like God started moving inside of me. And one day, it was in April. That's when it was I think it was like the second Sunday in April. That's when Pastor Pointer was preaching, and he gave the call. Like, I went to the 8 o'clock again that day, but I sat by myself that day. I don't think Whitney was there. No one was there. Actually, I wasn't sitting around any friends. And before he could even ask your neighbor, are you sure? I got up before then, because I just felt like God he was speaking to me and telling me to go up there, that, it was my time. Like, he wants me to live for him. And I remember when I first came to Little Rock, I was super excited. Oh, I got my first job. This is going to be super. And like, I was not thinking about, I'm about to get saved. Like, that did not cross my mind. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm gonna get a new boo. Like, I wasn't thinking about getting saved, but like, I always had this, like, a couple of years ago, I was just like, 2015 is gonna be a good year, it's gonna be a good year, but it would have never crossed my mind that any of this would have happened. And by far, this has been a great year for me, and it's for all the different reasons to what I had thought it was gonna be.
I guess this stresses the importance of what Pastor Porter was saying a couple Sundays ago, that you should always ask your neighbor on your left and your right. You never know. And maybe that one Sunday, it will change everything,
Because I guess we're not going to come to that decision we can't come to that decision on our own. It's like God has to place that on our hearts. So I feel like if you're feeling some type of way, God is drawing you, and just stay in his word, keep praying about it, and then once it's your time, you're going to get up and go no matter what. And when you have friends like Whitney, or just anybody, praying for you, helping you along the way, that makes it even easier to do. But I guess I was scared, like the unknown, or maybe I wasn't really, just didn't think I could live up to Christian standards maybe or something. But, Whitney, was just there, and, like you said, helped me and kind of guided me, and was like, hey, you never can be, no one's perfect, so there's no standard you can, like, oh, you got to be like this before you can, so it's not like that. So I would say she definitely guided me along the way. And if she hadn't, I don't know where I would be. But I feel like, maybe if it wasn't Whitney, it would have been someone else, because God has, he has like a timeline. He wants things to happen at a certain time. So if it wasn't for Whitney, it might have been someone else. So maybe I would still, it might have happened, but maybe not in this way. But I think it would have happened.
And I agree with that. Like, God uses everybody in his plan. So if it wouldn't have been me, it could have been anybody. Like, I'm not super special or anything. But God is working in all of us, and he's using all of us. And this has been a great experience for me, too. Just seeing God work through our friendship, and just not just being friends, but really loving each other. And that's what happened here. We loved each other, and God came through.